Hey, we got it. Peace, y'all. Let's get you some light. Let there be light. Hello. Glad. All right. Took a minute. It was just spinning for me and I didn't understand. I could see you all here. And for those of you all new here, I'm Iana Fashandra Shrees. I'm going to speak about this topic real quick because it comes up quite a bit. And I was like, let me answer this here and hopefully it lives on and it helps people. And maybe if people are sending me messages and stuff for their divination or clarification on something that's said, I'm able to say what this is. I know y'all missed the fancy background. Y'all probably won't get that before I come back from Nigeria at this rate. And many of you know that I'm leaving soon to head there. So for those of you all here for the first time, welcome. I'm Iana Chandra Sharice, intuitive business strategist, spiritual life coach that practice the Yoruba Isheshe tradition known as Ifa. And I get the question in the statement about initiation so much. And I'm taking a group to be initiated in June. So let's talk about it, shall we? Because people are like, how do I know that I'm supposed to get initiated and how do I prepare? And the other thing is the misconception of what initiation is and means. And so I'm going to try to say this. I know I've talked about this before, but I think somewhere there's a disconnect in how I'm explaining it. So I'm going to try to do a more efficient and better job to do so. To explain what initiation is, because I talked about it before and I talked about it as it pertains to saying Ishefa and Itefa, peace, Vivian, and peace, Lotus. Good to see you. Hi, Kaylin. Thank you. Peace. And so now I'm hoping by doing this, because I was asked about it again today, like, what do I need to do to prepare for initiation? And a matter of fact, those of you in this chat right now, hint, hint, ask me questions like this. And I think sometimes when I'm responding to people in email as well, when they're asking questions like that after they receive a divination, and it may say that it's up to them now to follow the way of Ifa or to propagate Ifa more often than not, or to come to Ifa with all of their problems, they're not understanding what that means for them and what it is that they should be doing. Peace, Jacob. Hey, Nikita. Peace, Element. Thank y'all. Good to see you. I know I'm all last minute, but hey, Sapphire, good to see you. We're going to get this in here. So when they're asking me this question, they're like, so how do I know and how do I do and how do I prepare? That's the one thing that I hear the most is how do I prepare myself to be initiated? So let's back up. Peace, Adeola. Good to see you. Peace, Jay. Good to see you. Let's back up a little bit, okay? For the whole and the term initiation. Matter of fact, let me do this real quick. I'm going to look up the actual definition of it as it pertains to how we say it is. And I think I speak to you all about this very well. When learning English in Nigeria, they're very literal. We in the West are very colorful with our language. So, what means something to us because of how we use it doesn't always mean it's the proper definition. And peace hoodoo. Hey, y'all, good to see you. Peace. So, when I say things, or if it is written in your divination and you're a little confused on it, it's because you immediately go to the colorful explanation of what it is versus the actual definition of what it is. So that's why I'm looking this up real quick, so that I can make sure I then equate that. And while I'm doing this, I can see you all chatting here. And again, it's only open to people who follow me that can comment. If you follow, you can comment, you can participate. But I have a question. As I'm looking this up real quick, can you please, Jay, I knew you would be tired. Yes. Can you please, in the comments, if you have pledged or joined any type of organization, Greek organization. For those of you that are people of color, it would be from the Pan-Hellenic Council, et cetera, Eastern Star, Masons, et cetera. If you have joined any of those organizations, can you just put a yes in the comments and let me know? Or if you had interest in joining those organizations, let me know. So if you're part of any of those, the Divine Nine, any of it, right? Any Mason, anything, put yes. And then I'm gonna go from that process forward so that you understand the difference, and I'm going to relate it to some of the practices and stuff that we do in that. So do that for me. Thank you. Go ahead, represent Vivian. All right. And then I'm gonna read what this definition is according to the Oxford Dictionary online. Initiation, the action of admitting someone into a secret or obscure society or group, typically with a ritual. The introduction of someone to a particular activity or skill. The action of beginning something. Okay. So, for those of you all that are part of an organization that required you to initiate your process of crossing the burning sands, right? Getting to, and by that we say it's the journey that you have with the people who are online with you. And for those of you all not familiar with that process, when a group of people are together and they are participating in joining an organization, it's considered an online process, i.e., you cross the sands with each other. Okay. So that's what it's called. And the reason it's called that is the reference back to Egypt and the sands of the desert, et cetera, et cetera. So just to give you a heads up. So in that you're crossing the sands together, you get to know each other, you get to do team building exercises, et cetera, et cetera. And all of that is supposed to get you to be closer together so that you can work on the organization's purpose together in a sound way. Now, all of the other things you see, stepping, um, shows, doing acts of service together, whatever, those are all the other things that you see. But the things that the basis of you being online is supposed to be for you to get to know each other, work together as a team to elevate the organization you're in. Now, does that, and this is case in point, does that always mean that when you join, people follow what that's supposed to be? No, it doesn't. Because there then human experience gets in the way of what the process is. Okay. Now, when you all hear initiation from this end, you assume it's the same thing. What I will tell you is some of the things that you do when you say some of the, and people think it's like you're pledging your life away to worship this thing, but the whole purpose has nothing to do with worshiping anything when it comes to Greek and other organizations. It has everything to just get you to work as a team and be a team and work on the common goal of the organization, which in most of their cases is to uplift the common purpose. Okay. So when you initiate an Ifa, the process is a little bit different from that. But the aspect that you'll understand is some of the prayers and things that you all did, because for whatever reason, most of those Greek organizations then so say that they're rooted in some sort of faith or practice. Okay. And when they're rooted in that, prayer or some sort of oath or something is coming into play when it comes to that. The oath to uplift your sisterhood, the oath to uplift the people in your community, the oath to uplift whatever it is that you're doing. Now, that's important for you to understand because when you do Ifa initiation, particularly Isheshe Yoruba traditional, I'm going to be clear on that because these derivatives are a little bit different. Okay. Particularly when you were doing that, the practice first and your initiation has nothing to do with the group of people. It has everything to do with you and, as you all know, who I call your spirit team that works with you and aligning you with your spirit team on a more one-to-one connection. Peace, Talia. Good to see you. That is what is important. You are your line. Okay. So you, that's the purpose of initiation. Initiation, the term itself, is not used to exclude people from different things in the point of not everybody can initiate, you'll know such and such and such. That's not what it is. Just like when you're online, it's so interesting. They have us learn history and all of these other things that they want you to know in order to practice. And so you bring that here. Even in Abrahamic practices, they usually have you shadow somebody. Some people are like, no, I'm just called and I'm going to stand on the pulpit. They have you shadow somebody and figure out. In Ifa, your shadowing somebody came from you shadowing yourself to get to this place. You growing and going through hurt and whatever to get to this place. You don't learn everything and a whole bunch of history and then come in and go, boom, I'm gonna get initiated now because I passed these tests. I memorized this stuff. I can regurgitate it. See, the difference is not everybody that joins those organizations started off with an act of service in their heart and how they were raised and what they did beforehand. That's the difference. Most of them turn around and they don't do anything new until they join. But most of you who joined too already, you were already volunteering. You were already doing these things to uplift your community. You were already obsessed with learning these different things to better yourself and to better others. There's a difference in that. So Ifa is mostly the same thing. You come because you're already ready. Your spirit already said, I'm coming here. There isn't a, you need to learn Yoruba, you need to know this Oriki, you need to understand Oriki, a poem, a series of poems or prayers that go with a particular stanza in the Odu, i.e., the Odu, the scripture that I talk about when I talk about that, if you're wondering. You don't need to be able to regurgitate these things to be initiated. For people who want to initiate and for the term initiation being used in the Yoruba language when they're using it for English is joining an organization for a common good, but your organization is yourself, and your common good is the betterment of yourself and everything that happens around that. And I speak about that so much. I think part of it, it's like it's so simple that people think that it's not what it is. And because people on social media and in blog posts and everything else, and because various derivatives make it seem like it's just so much more than what it is. And they come from a place of fear, like fear mongering. If you don't do this, you're going to be punished. You're going to be struck down. You're going to such a, that you just don't get and you can't fathom that you're just telling me I just want to do it. What do they tell you? If you want to be baptized, you confess with your heart. No, confess with your heart and your mind that you want to be baptized and it shall be. But you still do a ritual with that. Someone still dips your ass in some water. Someone still may put some water on your forehead. Catholic people, they're prissy with it. They'll have the bowl of water in the family and they'll tap your head. Everybody else, dunk your ass in the pool, the water, the tub, whatever they put in their church or whatever. I know y'all can feel me on that. You'll do all of those things and you're like, okay, I'm baptized. But who says that that person that does that really has that authority to do that? You all think it has something to do with God, but your purpose of being baptized with that person and that person telling you that now because I did this to you, you are now baptized comes because of the belief that they are the one to help you do what you need to do to connect more. When all along you've had God within you and you've already been connected. So when I tell you that the purpose of getting initiation is to elevate what already exists in you to connect you on a higher level to those energies in your spirit team and to also help you with some of the we say taboos but some of the restrictions and benefits of what happens in your life. Nothing is ever done or said to you to hinder and or hurt you but always to benefit you and help you. So if something is restricted from you, a food, an action, a thing that you do, once you get fully initiated, that is your life thing. There's no going back now. You now know that you have to eat meat for the rest of your life, but you were vegan. Right? You now know you have to refrain from beef the rest of your life now. Period. That also means in turn though that some people around you, depending on your intimate setting with them, like if they're your family, your friends, or whatever, they'll adjust because of how you adjust. Peace, John. Good to see you. So, when I tell you that initiation, you're like, what do I have to do to prepare? You've already asked. And even if it doesn't come up in your divination and you're like, I just feel led to do this, then you've already asked to have a higher elevation. For those of you all who have seen the Ebba video and who have participated in your own Ebba after your divination, you are very well aware of the power that occurs within it, regardless of what is going on in the background. Your body just feels different. For many of you, you get a sudden peace immediately. Others, I tell you all on all the videos, you're going to be sleepy, you're going to go to sleep. And then they're like, oh, okay. you will feel some are feel they feel overwhelmed, they feel the energies with them, and they can't explain it because they haven't felt that before. It's not a show. It's not something that people are just doing and they just don't have this happen, right? It's because they are connected with those energies. So imagine going through a process over a series of days that rebirths you to connect better with those energies so that you stay on top of your destiny a lot easier. Imagine that. That is the purpose of it. And then the other thing that comes into that is getting your hair cut. People trip out. There are various reasons that this is done, and I'm just going to tell you the simplest reason that it's done. And it's not only done just with this type of initiation, but also with connecting with certain energies. It is required and done. I don't know if you all realize how much trauma and tension is held within your body itself, in your own DNA, right? And I don't think you realize how much of that, because your hair is nothing but dead cells, how much of that is held in your hair as well. And when babies are born, right, they're born without anything from the outside affecting their hair if they so have it when they're born, or they're bald with that. In your process, you are reborn, and your symbolization of being reborn is the removal of hair. Male, female, doesn't matter, right? Short, long, I don't care if you already rock a fade, you gonna get that thing cut because it's still starting over. That is the whole purpose of that. People always get nervous and they want to ask, well, am I gonna have to? Yes. Let me just tell you yes. And then there are some initiations under particular energies where you're gonna have to get it if you want to be elevated higher with that energy. You're gonna have to get it again. Is it a big deal? No. And your hair tends to grow faster and it blows people mind. They're like, no, it doesn't. My hair never grows. You worried about the wrong thing, boo. Your hair is gonna come back unless you choose for it not to. You worried about the wrong thing. If that is the only thing you have to give in order to have the peace and the balance you want in your life, but you're still gonna have to do the work by following the directives, by checking up on yourself with your divinations. If that's the only thing that you had to give, why is that a big deal? I don't understand. It's gonna come back. People flip out now. They look at my hair now. Do you know how long I kept this thing bald and short? Because I loved it. And I didn't let it be straight. So most of the time they never thought. I usually walk around with a TWA. For those of you all from the new school who don't know what that is, that would be teeny weeny afro. Even this right here that you see right now, as soon as I wash it, and I'm going to do that because I've been holding off for this trip so that I could just have it, all together. But it's like this high. So all of this that you see is like this high. I stretch it out for you to see it a little bit longer by twisting and wearing in ponytails. Do I have a problem with it being long? Do I care? Do I use it as a blanket? No, because people are concerned that their beauty and how they're recognized is attached to their hair. But no, but my face, how I walk into a room will just always do that. I don't need to be worried about this right here. That's why I kept it off for so many years. It only grew out because I made a bet and I wanted to win the bet. I'm one of those people. Outside of that, y'all would see me ball all the time. And truth be told, when I cut it again, I really don't know if I'm gonna let it grow back because it's a lot of work and I'm not interested. Okay. Yes, the whole TWA, Jacob, you got to educate people. So, hair is hair. It's gone. You are now reborn. Live your life. Watch your locks come back the way they need to. Watch your hair grow faster than you think. And then the confidence that you'll have because you'll have to not depend on something to be a part of your shadow self. Listen to what I said. You have to not depend on something to be a part of your shadow self. Because after you initiate, the part of you that existed beforehand, that's what it is, your shadow self. Does this mean that you become ordained and holier than thou? And you're like, oh, I'm initiated now. No. But I will say, on an individual level, those people who act a fool and weren't crap before they had it, then think that they are crap after they have it, and then they start to act a fool afterwards. It happens that way in organizations too. Just be mindful of those people. Don't worry, they'll be set down that their energy isn't right. Because see, they don't understand the power of what that initiation really did, especially when your initiation is done properly and done well. They don't understand what that really does. So when they want to act a fool and act like they're holier than thou and better than the next person, they will be sat down. But in no place is there a place for that within Ifa. There's no place for you to act better than next, because you need to be good within yourself so that you can uplift and bring the next person with you. That doesn't always mean that they need to initiate or follow what you follow. I thank you all who have followed me on all of my platforms. Peace, Collins. I think you realize by now, by the diverse amount of people that I engage with, that I let meet you all, that come up on my socials, that I do things with, that they have all various backgrounds. You've seen them from all different colors, creeds, and religions, and they don't talk to me and deal with me and shy away from me because they're like, "Oh, you practice that thing." They talk to me and deal with me because we align in some way in the aspects of how I treat them and how they treat me. And that's why, regardless of whether they believe in whatever it is that I do, they still show up for me. They still talk to you all. They still do all the things, right? On all of the platforms. You have never heard anyone be like, "Well, I just felt weird. And so I just did such and such." And I don't invite them and say, "Oh, why don't you come talk to my people?" They come on their own. They come, I'm shocked because a lot of them didn't know this side. They only knew the business side. But because of how they knew me in the business side, they were like, "You know what? I'm going to go see what the rest is." And I'm a lot of them. I'm the first time they ever heard of this thing. They're like, "Oh, I never knew that existed. That ever happened." So if I wasn't aligning with my purpose and who I am, why would I be able to connect with so many people with so many different diverse backgrounds and be able to have them and consider them friends, where I know if shit hits the fan, they'll be there for me? Why would that even be a thing? It wouldn't. So even in this aspect of what is initiation and should you initiate and how do I know and how do I prepare? Your preparation is all of your life lessons up until the point that you ask to initiate. And your starting over is after that rebirth. Do you need to start teaching everybody? No, that's not the purpose. I've said that 1,000 times. You will learn as you go. Do you need to know Yoruba overnight? No. How can you speak a language, learn a language overnight, and not be able to speak it from here and here when you do your prayers? So, do you think that you will be less understood because you're coming from the diaspora and you don't know what's going on? No. All of the things that you're going to learn afterwards will come in due time. It's not gonna happen quickly as far as you being able to just learn the things, right? But you will learn the things. And many of the things that I teach you on here seem so basic and not advanced for some of you. You're like, "Oh, I already understand this, and I've been Googling and such and such." And then you find out you've been Googling the wrong stuff, understanding the wrong thing, not from the right place. And then more importantly, you think that I'm just teaching you these bottom level things to not help you. But the bottom level things are the foundation of what you need in order to progress and do what you want to do later. Those bottom level things prepare you for initiation. And then the other part is people assume you have to initiate to practice. You do not have to initiate to practice. Your initiation has been happening all of your life. You just finally got to the place you needed to do to cross the burning sands, jump the broom, do whatever, right? It's been happening all of your life through your lessons, through your mistakes, through your triumphs, all of that. It's already happened. And now you're like, "Oh, there's a way to make this a little easier on me." I'm down. But the rest of it where you're like, "I just wanna understand more about the tradition, et cetera, et cetera." I gave you the basis. It's not as complicated as people make it seem, and it's not as hard. The hardest part is to find the right person and or people to help you get to where you need to be. That's the hardest part. And if you're here, you already found allegedly who's for you. I can only say that because that is your ori and your decision. Has nothing to do with me or us or my Ifa family. So, and y'all know I say that because I make sure that because I'm in the diaspora, you understand that there are other people with me, alongside me, and behind me. I don't hide it from you so that you don't think I'm the end all be all of miracles and then I'm just going somewhere. You very well know where all of this knowledge and information is coming from and how all of it happens. And I do that on purpose because I didn't like it being hidden from me, and then that's also how you find out, well, I thought I was practicing Yoruba. No, Well, they gave me all of these Elekes and told me that I'm practicing and you're not. Because we don't give it leg kicks. You see what I'm saying? So I want to make sure that I'm out on Front Street and you can find me, right? And you know who's with me, behind me, around me, near me, and we are a family. He talks as we talk as we always say we, us, our. And that's how we move because without a collective of people who move together, you're not able to accomplish much. And you just need the right people around you. So when I see people saying, "Oh, I don't know if I need to practice this, such and such and such." If you're doing an ancestor reverence, boo, it's already in your blood. You're practicing. If you did anything with hoodoo, boo, you already been doing it. What you talking about? If you're in herbalism, you've been doing it. It's already happened. If you've done anything with a broom to cleanse your house, you've already been doing it. These are all things that come from the tradition. And even with the alternative herbs and stuff used here, because you can't always have everything that comes from the continent and not everything would survive here, those alternative herbs is how you get your herbalism and our hoodoo, which is, medicine for people of color who couldn't go to the doctor, spiritual and physical. So if you're already doing those things and you already have an interest in those things, you are already where you need to be. You've always been there. So practice as you may. And I always tell you, everybody's worried about getting the energy. What do I do when I get this energy, such and such, such? When you take care of your ancestors, they will take care of the rest of that for you. If you ask them to speak on your behalf for these energies, they will do that. If you want to practice and not be initiated, fine. Practice. Do the things that you learned on here that I've told you would help you and benefit you. Follow and listen to teachers that you resonate with that talk to you on a basic level of understanding, because that means that they continue to have the understanding that they have when they were looking and searching. And you listen to what resonates with you and dispar anything else that doesn't. If it doesn't make sense, let it go. If it doesn't bring you peace, let it go. I say it all the time. And now you'll hear people that are students of mine saying it all the time. And to finally wrap this up, for everybody that was asking, I was just asked today, cough, Jane, about a Discord, cough, about a Patreon, cough. No, I don't have those things. I don't know that I will be able to have those things and handle it. But what I will tell you is if you follow me on Clubhouse, same name, same everything. I will do an audio version of the classes and stuff that I teach on TikTok and on here. Y'all know I typically say it backwards, but for the purposes of this, where we can meet whenever I go live. It'll be just like this. Sometimes maybe I'll try to schedule something, but I understand some of you have questions and you want to be able to talk and you want to talk without a consultation. Those times will be the times that you will be able to talk to me without a consultation, is when I do any type of rooms on Clubhouse. So that's what we'll do. And then later, I will talk more about what's happening in the future when I return from Nigeria and how that's going to impact the clubhouse rooms and things of that nature. So I don't have a Patreon. I just have a Cash App. Look, and it took a lot for me to do that and list that, okay? And I don't have all of the other things. It's just what it is. Clubhouse is an audio app that you can download from either app store. First, it was introduced on iPhones only, and then they opened it up to Android. And you can go in there and sit and engage and talk with people in an audio format. They have what you call stages, and then everybody's down the bottom. You can bring them up and you can talk on the stage with the person and get to learn and have lessons and things there. Will I be doing video classes and stuff? Ideally, but I'll be doing it under the construct of the ELA. So, but I will do stuff on Clubhouse. I'm already on there now, and they've been missing me like crazy in all of the social media rooms because they're the ones that come and join my stuff. So all of the influencers and stuff, they're like, "Where have you been?" Such and such. And my partner is the one that she's over there the majority of the time. And when I come on, it's like a miracle. I need to find my login information. Yeah, if you send it, you just need your phone number, Rain. If you have the same phone, you can use that. And then if you don't, you just reset it. So I will do rooms on there. You don't have to be on camera, none of those things. It's just audio. You put your picture up and then you can come talk. You can find me under the same name everywhere. So just look for me there. add me, follow me, and then when I open up the club in my house, because I do have a house, and not everybody is allowed to get a house, which is like your own sub club. I have not put anything in it. They just approved me for it a long time ago, and I kept it. So I'll do things over there, and you all can engage there with questions. Otherwise, on a more one-on-one level, I will always say book a consultation. I see people leaving like comments like, "How do I get in contact with you?" First, that blows my mind. Second, blows my mind because y'all see I have a website. Also blows my mind because you Google and find me all over the place, and other people just send me messages on other platforms. So when they say that, I'm like, "What you mean?" All right. That being said, are there any questions or anything anybody would like to say about what I just asked? And then I will make sure I try to answer it before I get off of here because 30 minutes, then we're going to hop on back, to the other app and chill out for a bit until the social. And if you all aren't coming to the social tonight and you did not sign up for my email list, then you missed the email for the social and you have to be on camera. Just saying. All right, let me see. Peace, Naomi. Good to see you. Sapphire. Ewa pillar attracts you as us magnetic. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sapphire. I think, let me find out we don't have any questions. Clutch my invisible pearls. All right. We're going to get off here in three, two, one. We're gonna hop on over to TikTok now. Thank you for those of you all rewatching this later. Thank you for your time, your energy, and I hope this has helped you. Okay, it's not as complex as it is believed to be. So stop putting roadblocks in front of yourself. If you feel that you're supposed to be here, you're supposed to do this, then do that. You will learn as you go, and you will always be learning. Just because you quote unquote initiate does not mean that you stop learning. You will always learn because as long as you live life, there will be lessons to be learned. So until next time, any way you want to, Nikita. Until next time, y'all. I'll see you later. Peace.